Hi, I'm Greg from Second Thoughts East Yorkshire. Today I'm going to talk about emotions, or more precisely, how they can create anxiety and even cause panic attacks. So, what are emotions? Well, emotions are feelings, and they can be good or bad. Feelings vary depending on what's happening to you or around you, and they can make you feel good or feel bad. Now, positive emotions include such things as happiness, joy, love, hopefulness, satisfaction, pride, affection, laughter and humour, empathy, feeling valued and feeling appreciated. But there are also negative emotions, including fear, anger, guilt, despair, regret, shame, emptiness, hostility, resentment, hopelessness. Can you think of more emotions? I bet you can. Importantly, emotions are a guide. If you feel loved and happy, feel-good biochemicals such as serotonin are released into the system, boosting your mood. Similarly, with negative emotions, if you feel afraid or angry, they also trigger the release of biochemicals, including adrenaline, for example, which helps you to cope. Although there is a price to pay for that, and more about that in a short while. To put it simply, emotions are signals within your body that tell you what's happening. When you feel that something pleasurable is happening to you, you feel good. Conversely, when you feel that something distressing is happening to you, you feel bad. Now, emotions can be really rapid, instant even, and they come on without any thought. Your initial reactions to what's happening to you are called primary emotions. But are these primary emotions always reliable? Well, let's have a look. We'll see how emotions work. Emotions are electrical impulses that flow through your system, responding to stimuli coming in via your senses. So your senses of sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. Then the signals travel to your brain, so your brain can tell your body what to do in response to an emotional situation. That's to make you feel good in a positive situation, or to manage any threat or risk in a bad situation. Let me give you an example of how this works in a bad situation to protect you. Imagine as a child that you're cycling along to the shop and you pass a garden where someone's playing a radio and ABBA is on, singing Waterloo. You pedal around the corner and a huge dog runs out, snarls at you, snaps at you, and you fall off your bike and cut your leg, as well as bruising yourself badly. You manage to fight off the dog, then finally get home to treat your wounds. Now, when this incident happened, a part of your brain called the amygdala reacted. The amygdala is your brain's fire alarm. It's the part that sends signals out for your body to prepare to deal with a threat. This process is sometimes called flight or fight. What that means is that you have two ways to deal with a threat, either to power up your body to run away from it, or power it up to fight it. And it's called, as I say, flight or fight, which is the name's the explanation. When this happens, adrenaline is released into the bloodstream, and you breathe rapidly to increase oxygen levels to power up your muscles. Other changes happen in the body too, to reduce levels of bleeding, for example, and to prevent you feeling pain as acutely. Also, your senses heighten to see and hear further threats. As well as these things happening that normally wouldn't be happening, some other processes that usually happen stop, so that the energy can be redeployed to essential parts of the body, and it's to tasks including fighting or escaping from this threat. So your digestive system temporarily stops. Never in history has someone fighting for their life decided to stop and have a slice of toast, have they? This makes you have stomachache, feeling like you have butterflies in your stomach. Tied into this, saliva production stops so that your mouth dries out. Does that sound familiar? Now, it may seem that tasks like digestion and producing saliva wouldn't use much energy, but in a situation where you are under threat, the body needs to preserve and utilize as much energy as possible. So anything that's non-essential is stopped. The emotion triggering the response in this case was fear. So in that situation, all of these responses were good. They helped you to get away from the vicious dog and feel less physical pain from your cuts and bruising until you got home and back to safety. From the example, you can see that the feeling of emotion of fear triggered actions that were good, that helps you to cope. Firstly, they helped you to survive. Secondly, It helps you to store situations so that you aren't caught off guard again, or more precisely to store the triggers for those situations, but I'll speak more about that in a few seconds. Thirdly, it helps to reduce the feelings of pain, and ultimately it helps you to stay safe. So about these triggers. Well, the situation with the dog has put some triggers in place. Riding a bike, hearing Waterloo, seeing a dog, any of those things could make the amygdala respond in the same way again, firing off the signals, and your body will react in the same way. Now, the reason the amygdala does this is because the amygdala can't rationalize situations. The very primitive part of the brain, dating back to when humans barely evolved, and they don't apply any conscious thought. All they do is fire off responses to keep you safe. Now, that's good. We need that to happen to keep us safe, but that's to keep us safe providing the threat is real. If you're being attacked by a creature or a person, you would need to have those responses to fight them off or to run away. Sometimes, though, in a situation like this, if we hear ABBA or see a cyclist or a dog, it doesn't mean that we are in danger. But the amygdala don't rationalise that. They don't think this situation's different or you're an adult and able to cope. All that happens is the amygdala very primitively recognises the threat and it'll set off the warning bells. Some therapists call this an amygdala hijack. Now, the result can either be extremely heightened emotions, making you feel very uncomfortable and sick even, and on edge, or indeed they may escalate into a full-blown panic attack. So the next time you're feeling really sad, afraid, or on edge, for no obvious reason, not if you are under threat, but for no apparent reason, remember that it could be some hidden trigger that's making you feel uneasy, and that the amygdala are firing off orders to the body in response to it. The way to manage this situation is threefold. Firstly, understanding what's happening to your body removes the potency of a panic attack. So me explaining it, or anyone explaining it to you like this, helps to reduce it, it removes some of its power. Secondly, try to evaluate how bad you're feeling on a scale of 1 to 10. When you don't know what one is, what a panic attack is, they're absolutely terrifying, and you may well score 10. But once you understand what one is, it may only score 6 or 7, and it won't last as long. And the third way to manage a panic attack or really being overwhelmed by emotion is to use some mindfulness techniques. And one technique is called grounding. To start doing this grounding, you need to breathe in for 4 seconds, then exhale for 6 seconds. Exhale for slightly longer than you inhale. And the reason for that is to reduce oxygen levels in the bloodstream, and that in turn will reduce giddiness. Next, use your 5 senses. Look around and name 5 things that you can see. What are they? Where did you get them from? Name 4 things that you can touch. Similarly, what are they? Where did they come from? Next, name 3 sounds that you can hear. What are the sounds? Where are they coming from? Then name 2 things that you can smell. It may be deodorant, could be fresh air spray, could be cooking smells, maybe a flower, it could be from a car running an engine outside. What are those 2 things that you can smell? And finally, 1 thing that you can taste. Maybe something lingering from your last meal, it may be just the taste of your own saliva, maybe the residue of a cup of tea or something, or a sweet that you've had. But what is it? Use these grounding skills to slow things down and regain control. At the end of the video, I'll put a slide that will show these 5 senses or 5 actions that you can take using your senses to bring yourself back to here and now, to ground you. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you found it helpful. I'll be back soon, but in the meantime, take care, stay safe, and good mental health. Bye-bye.